Now, a very warm welcome to each and every participant who are here with us in this Agile Scrum workshop session. In our today's session, we are going to discuss about the agenda and the course expectation. Now, firstly, your Agile is a methodology. Now, the word methodology here means the guidelines. Okay, just like in every country, we are having our own constitution, and based on the constitution, the government works. In the same way, these methodologies are set of guidelines on which various models work. So under agile methodology, we are having a Scrum model, Kanban model, extreme programming, feature driven drive, and many more models. But as per IT standards, we are using more Scrum model. Now, firstly, we'll understand what is this agile methodology. Your agile methodology is a lightweight model. Okay, lightweight methodology where more of customer satisfaction, customer retention is there, continuous deliverables are going to be provided, where the technical team and the customer they are interacting with each other continuously. After every 2 weeks, a working software is going to be delivered, and change requests are welcomed at any point of time. Now, your agile is one of the way of project management, and this word scrum has been derived from the rugby game. So if you have seen the rugby game, in rugby game we are having total 11 players. In those 11 players we cannot find anyone who is going to act as a goalkeeper. So at any point of time any team member can act as a goalkeeper, right? So we are having a cross functional team there. Same, the word Scrum has been derived from there, where we are going to have a cross-functional team, a team which is going to be work together on a collaborative approach, where we are going to develop a software application based on iterative and incremental model, right? And we are going to provide continuous deliverables to the client, okay, after every 2 weeks. Now, talking about principles of Scrum. In the principles of Scrum, the very first, as I already told you, that change requests are welcomed at any point of time, right? You are going to have a cross-functional team, okay? You are going to have in the Scrum, you will be seeing product owner, Scrum master, and your Scrum team. The size of your Scrum team is going to be 7 to 9 members, right? And all the phases of software development lifecycle are going to work here parallelly, okay? And parallelly the inspection is going to happen, and your development and your inspection is going to happen, right? Now your Scrum is basically is a agile, one of the models of agile, okay, and which will help us to deliver an application to the client in both iterative, in small iteration, and when we combine together in an incremental model, okay. And it is just opposite of a waterfall model, because in waterfall model your waterfall model is a structured approach, okay. It is a traditional approach, it is a structured approach, it is a sequential way of delivering a product to the client. So when it comes to waterfall model, after every phase, okay, a review takes place and then it will move to the next phase, okay, then again review takes place, then it will move to the next phase, like this. After phase by phase the review will happen and it will move to the next phase. But in Scrum each and every phase is going to work parallelly, okay, which is going to reduce the time, the cost, and which is going to increase the productivity of the application. Now talking about Scrum at a glance. So in your Scrum, firstly, your product owner will prepare a product backlog and is going to prioritize the product backlog based on MVP and Moscow technique. Then your Scrum team will prepare a sprint backlog. Okay, so your sprint is also called a time-bound activity. It is a 2 weeks activity. So in the sprint backlog, they are going to have 4 ceremonies. Okay, so sprint planning, daily Scrum meeting, sprint review meeting, and your sprint retrospective meeting. Now, in a daily scrum meeting, after every 24 hours, this daily scrum meeting will happen where your scrum master is going to ask your scrum team, so how many tasks are done? Okay, and what are the new tasks that are going to be kept in the working progress, and if they are facing any kind of impediments in the current task, what are those, so that the scrum master can resolve those impediments. Now, once the shippable product is ready, your scrum master will conduct a meeting with the client. Okay, your scrum master will conduct a meeting with the client, with the product owner, and with the scrum team, where they are going to demonstrate this application. And once your sprint review meeting is done, the last meeting that is going to be happen in scrum is your sprint retrospective meeting. So in the sprint retrospective meeting, your scrum master is going to ask, what are the lessons learned from the previous sprint? Okay, and what are the new things that are going to be implemented? So all these things we are going to discuss in detail in our scrum session. So generally, if you talk about sequential methodology, if you talk about waterfall model, as I previously also told, that phase by phase the requirements are going to be developed. First, the requirement gathering will happen, then review will happen, then designing will happen, then review will happen, then coding, and then testing. But in Scrum, the beauty of a Scrum is that all the things are going to be done at a time. Okay, so your Scrum team do each and everything bits and pieces, but they are going to take everything all the time. Now, talking about Scrum framework. So as I told you, here we are going to have a product owner who is going to be a BA or a subject matter expert. Your Scrum Master is going to be your project manager or any technical lead. And in the team, you will be having the developers, database administrators, cross-functional team. When we are talking about ceremonies, in ceremonies, we are having sprint planning meeting, sprint review meeting, sprint retrospective, and daily scrum meeting. So after every sprint, the sprint planning meeting will happen. Okay, where the product backlog and sprint backlog are going to be prepared. In daily scrum meeting, the status of the development of the requirements are going to be captured. In sprint review meeting, okay, we are going to discuss the product with the client. We are going to have a review of the product with the client. After that, the sprint retrospective will happen. And in the sprint retrospective, your Scrum Master is going to ask Scrum team, what are the lessons learned from the previous sprint? When we are talking about artifacts, so in Scrum, we are going to have product backlog, sprint backlog, and product burn down charts are the artifacts, are the only artifacts that are going to be prepared. Now, product owner, as I told you, yes, your product owner is going to be your business analyst or product manager or project sponsor. Your product owner is going to write, edit, update, delete any kind of user stories, prioritize those things. Your Scrum Master is going to be the project manager or a team leader, as I told you. And your Scrum Master is going to facilitate all the meetings, Scrum meetings, and is going to remove impediments, if any. And your Scrum team members are comprises of 5 to 10 members. Okay, it can be majorly it is going to be between 7 to 9 members. It is a cross-functional team. Okay, you will have a QA members, programmers, developers, designers, right? All the team members. So Scrum artifacts, yes, talking about Scrum artifacts. So in Scrum, we will be seeing product backlog, which is going to be prepared by the product owner. Sprint backlog will be prepared by Scrum team. Burn down charts are going to be prepared by Scrum Master. Impediment logs will be prepared by your Scrum Master, whereas your high-level design documents will be prepared by your Scrum team. And in Scrum, we are having various tools also. The just like you might have heard about Jira tool, Rally tool, TFS, that is TFS tool. Okay, these tools are very expensive tools. Okay, so in some companies they are using such kind of expensive tools, or in some companies they are using Excel spreadsheet for managing these user stories and acceptance criteria. Thank you so much everyone for giving your time and listening to this demo. If you have any questions with respect to Agile Scrum, you can directly post to the Stream Institute of Professional Development. The concerned coordinator will guide you, will help you with the rest of the process.